I should have started recording already, but right from the beginning, you'll see we're trying to keep possession of the ball. We start with a little bit of possession. We go back, start to go back right away, which is fine. We're spreading out the field. But right from here, you can see Juliana is kind of right on top of Joanna. I'd like to see Sarah and Juliana start to drop off here and Karun start to get really, really wide, like touching the sidelines. So that this first ball, this first pass in, as soon as that gets there, by the time the ball gets touched by Karun here, she's got a defender right in her face. Then she's forced to drop the ball right to Juliana, who's right there, maybe 5 yards off of her. And that type of spacing is dangerous because then that defender's right in Juliana's face. So see how this kind of plays out right here. Just a little bit better spacing. We would keep the ball here. The defender wouldn't touch it. But she's getting right there, right in her face right there. And then we almost have the ball going in the other direction. Okay. Lindsay, I don't think Lindsay's on this meeting right now. But in terms of where my wing backs are supposed to be, I'm going to mostly talk about Karun's positioning and whoever plays closest to the camera. It's very difficult to see the other side of the field, although I will point out a couple of things on the other side of the field as well. But Ashley checked in. We're moving the ball well. A good switch to our wing back. Let's just stop for a second and take a look at this. So our positioning when we have the ball right now. I'd like to see Karun is right here as our wing back. The forwards are instructed as we get closer to the goal we're scoring on, our forwards are instructed to go inside a little bit more, tuck in, get a little bit closer to the goal. But our wing backs on this side, the far side and the weak side, I like our wing backs to be making their wide runs up here. All right, so as we have the ball, we're all the way out here. That's going to do two things. One, if this defender right here, wait, where is it? If this defender right here stays wide, or if this defender right here stays where that position they are, then Karun has a lot more space and she's really wide out here. Or this defender is now forced to drop a little bit more this way, closer, and that's going to open up more space for Brielle and Ella in the midfield and everyone in there. So just focusing on our positioning, it's great, Karun, that you're getting forward here, but let's try to do it in this zone out here to spread out their defense a bit. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out there. So let's continue on. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And go. So again, you're tucking in a little bit too far in there, Karun. I'd like to see you much, much wider out here. Peyton's able to get around there. We almost get our first goal in the first 1 minute of play. Okay, the ball goes out for a corner here. Now, we're going to talk about this week at practice. Juliana is going to take some corner kicks. I'm going to have a couple other people take corner kicks, but in this particular situation, you see Juliana just going forward, not really giving any instructions. Sarah staying quiet. I immediately called to Sarah from the sideline because I remember this specifically. I said, Sarah, you need to get somebody else back here. So then I call over to Joanna because, look, we're sitting here with just Sarah and their striker. Very dangerous. We always want to be 2, if not 3 men up on defensively. So I call Joanna back here. She starts to track in. But I'd like to see somebody else, whether it be the wing back or the other wing back on the other side, sitting in this area right here, not really getting involved, just sitting in here. If the ball comes out, you can shoot on goal. But if it's a bad corner or they start to transition, Karun, if you were sitting in this general area, as soon as you see the bad transition, you'd start to drop back in here, and then we have 3. All right, but instead what happens is it's a bad corner, and they start to transition, which could have been very dangerous. So they steal the ball there. They start to get forward, and then that could have been a bad situation right there. That was a tough pass by them. Sarah makes a good stop there. Joanna and Karun get back very well, recover, and we're okay. But that could have been a lot worse. All right. Let me go. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. Okay, let's look at our positioning a little bit. Right now, we're pretty good. Um, Kroon probably like to see. I'm not sure where Lindsay is in this scenario right here, but I'd like to see a little bit more of our defensive shape. The correct defensive shape for us right now would be if this is Sarah here, then we have um, Juliana here, and then we have Karun more like here, and we have Lindsay more like there. So you two are on the same line, two are on the same line. So our defense looks a little bit more like a two, two. Both of you are even, and that's what our shape should be looking like at this point. We'll see if it ever gets there. I don't think it does. I'll leave that on the screen for a minute. Right, Lindsay's a little bit far up. Karun, you're all the way tucked in there. Whether we have the ball, we don't have the ball, you're just too far tucked in. Leave that space out there. Leave that space in the middle of the field for Joanna to sit in, and you. And I think we win the ball here. So we have the ball. This is our throw in now. I'd like to see my wing back getting up into this space here. All right, this lovely squiggly line here, this is the space that I want to see my wing back getting into on the weak side. All right, so this gives Brielle can tuck in a little bit closer. We're very close to the goal over here, so Brielle can tuck in, and Karun is in this space out here. So if we can get any type of combination in here, we can find you on the outside over here going in. And my wing backs are going to have plenty of opportunity to get to goal if we play the position correctly. Being in, and sorry for all my squiggly lines here, but being tucked in that far in the center of the field is not giving you a chance to get involved in the attack on the weak side. So you'll find plenty of opportunity if you're in the right position out here, whoever's playing the wingback, getting up in this general area here. If you're starting this wide and then you start to get up into here, anything that comes across, whether it's a cross or anything, you're right on top of the score. Being here, you're just too far away from the goal. You're not gonna be involved in the offense like we need our wingbacks to be. Okay, so let's continue on, see how this plays out. Our throw in here, not much is happening, but again, not really the right spot for the wingback there. Karun, Lindsay needs to start tracking back. And I know it's kind of difficult. I know for right now it's Karun that I'm talking about, but any of my wingbacks, you don't see anyone to defend out here, so you don't think you need to defend out in this area, out this wide area. This is what you're defending for. This player, let me get that. This player here, a lot of teams get involved coming up this sideline here. You're tucked all the way in. I'm not sure if it's getting there right now, but this player potentially comes and fill this space, and now you have to track all the way across the field. Or one of their midfielders here starts to fill this space, and now you're tracking back across the field. What I'd like to see is my center back organizing the defense and saying, hey, Karun, let's get wide. Joanna, sit central here. I got this player. Let's start to drop in, and you just communicate that. So I really need Sarah and Juliana to start communicating exactly what they want to see in terms of our defensive shape. Sarah's actually not going to be at the tournament this weekend, so I'm actually I'm going to try to figure out who's going to be the other center back. So I'm going to need two to three of you to play center back over this coming weekend while Sarah is not there. But we'll get to that this week. But let's see how this plays out a little bit. Oh, Karun, I just want to point out one thing to you. You're a very smart player. I can tell you're a very smart player. I want to see, as soon as this, I'm going to point you out again, Karun, here. As soon as you are tracking somebody, meaning you're running in the direction of the goal that we're defending, as soon as you got to use your vision here, as soon as the person you're defending, you're tracking, gets to our center back, right? Our last line, which is right here. As soon as the defender that you're tracking crosses there, you stop. So you should have just stopped right here, right where Juliana is, because she's the last person back right now. You stop instead of following her. She's offsides here. It doesn't actually get to the point where the ball gets to her, I don't think. But just one thing to keep in mind is you're tracking somebody. If she goes past our last defender, you stop, just let them go, and then she's offsides. And with that being said, we're also trusting the fact that the refs can call offsides, which they didn't in this game. They missed the first goal, which was offsides, which I'll show you in a minute. And Karun, I'm sorry I keep picking on you. It's just that you're on this side of the screen. It's probably going on the other side of the screen as well, but it's just easier to talk about when we're here. So good, we're tracking her. Brielle's tracking back, which is fine. As soon as this ball gets played inside, you can't follow it. You have to stick your runner. If that was a good give and go and you follow it inside here, because what happens here, you follow the ball inside. Whoops. You follow the ball inside. If it was a good give and go, goes inside, they would have played it right back down the sideline. That might be what happens, but you followed this ball inside instead of tracking your runner. That's where inside is where Joanna needs to step in, or Ella gets to start tracking back, which she did. That's covering the inside of the field. My wingback just needs to stick their outside runner. So let's see how that plays out. And Joe, I think Joe's on this meeting right now. Joe, everything that I'm telling these defenders, you were very vocal, and I was very happy that how vocal you were in the goal. Just tell them, just scream at them. We're going to start this week. We're going to work on simple instruction for the defenders. It's 5 or 6, just one word instructions that I need to see coming from my center backs and my goalie. So we'll work on that this week. But if you see anything, any of my keepers, Olivia or Joe, if you see anything that you don't like, feel free to scream at your teammates and get them in the right defensive shape. So a lot of this for us, this game was our defensive position. Let's look at that right now. Instead of watching the ball here, let's look at our defensive shape. So 2 things need to be happening here. 1, we need to be pushing up the field a little bit more. And 2, you can't really tell, maybe you can tell, but we are out of shape again. Sarah and Juliana need to be on the same page. Our 2 center backs need to always be even at all times. Even. So right now, Juliana's drifting a little bit far back. I actually would like to see, because of how close this ball is, let's see who wins this ball here. All right, we were winning the ball, so now we should be pushing up the field. But if they win the ball, you start to drop off a little bit. I pointed this out to Karun, but the last meeting. But I'd like to see here, Brielle's getting this ball really far up the sideline. I'd like to see Ella checking in from behind here, and then Karun should be wide already, so Karun should be coming up and supporting from here. That way, if Brielle has to cut back, we can play this ball here and keep possession. And my daughter's walking down the stairs, so forgive me if you hear a little girl chattering. All right, so again, supporting on the outside over here, Karun, would be best. Joanna's in a good spot. Joanna should start dropping off right now. Okay, boom, our defensive shape again. You can either play a high line or you can play a deep line, but we can't do both, right? Joanna was able to make a good stop in here, but we have Sarah trying to drop in deep, and we have Joanna here now pushing up. And again, we need to be even. Hold on 1 second, girls. What are you doing, Ellie? You're writing on the wall. Oh, that's great. Give me that. Go. Sorry, I have my daughter writing on walls with colored pencils. Okay, so now we're not even right now. We're all out of shape, and that hurt us a bunch of times throughout this game. So we just need to be conscious of that. Juliana's probably the one out of position here. She needs to get even with Sarah, and needs to turn face ball and just be even. So we're a little bit out of position where we find ourselves tracking back. Karun, again, I'm just pointing you out. You're tucked very far inside, and you have an attacker all the way out here. Do you need to be all the way out here? Absolutely not. A smart defender is aware of it, right? They open up their body, open up their hips, but you should be right about here. All right, not all the way out wide with her. Definitely inside, because protecting the inside of the field, the middle of the field, that's what we need to protect. But just being in a little bit closer to her, have your body, hips open to her, and make sure that you're seeing her. How much time do I have? Good. All right. Moving on. Again, girls, I'm just pointing out a couple of flaws that I've seen that we just easy to fix. Okay. Again, our defensive shape. Look at our shape here. We have. Let's use diamonds this time. 1, 2, 3. Lindsay has the ball, so she has the ball here. But this is not our shape, right? We need to be able to get in that, and I'll draw it on the field. We need to be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our defensive shape, right? Even, 2 even lines. Okay, so we need to be able to be in that shape immediately. Okay. And I pointed out all the flaws of the offense. I'm not really going to talk about my offense at all right now. But boom, we're caught into a bad defensive shape again. Karoun went in to win that ball. We were able to pass it around. They almost scored a goal here. Let's jump back for a second and go through that real quick. So what happened there? Since we're in such a poor shape here, we're kind of all over the place in terms of who should go attack that ball. Why? And there's a lot of holes in our offense right here. They have 1, 2, 3 against our 3. So let's see how this plays out. Karoun, instead of going inside to get this here, you should be tucked out wide here. That would have given them that the person on the ball right there, she would have had some space, which is okay. Joanna goes in and cuts that off. But instead, you go inside right there trying to steal that ball. You do get a nice tip of it, which helped out. But if that ball was played wide, then we were in a tough spot again. But again, you followed the ball inside. Juliana now steps to this ball. And look how far Sarah is back there. If Juliana's stepping to the ball, Sarah then becomes the center back. I'm sorry. If Juliana steps to the ball, Joanna now becomes the center back and needs to get even with Sarah. So we need to get on the same page there. But I don't even want to see Juliana getting that far up the field trying to get this ball here, because this ball is not dangerous, right? No one's scoring from there. So instead, what Juliana should have done was just start to drop, get even with Sarah, while Joanna, and I'm going to point this out right here, if Juliana started to drop to get even with Sarah, Joanna would have came in, and that's defensively what we would want to see. All right, so drop, and Joanna's the one that comes and gets that ball. All right, but let's see how this plays out. So they go back inside with a nice little give and go, a little takeover, and now we're just their speed was able to cut through the middle of the field and take Sarah on 1v1, and they got a nice attempt on goal, which they missed, but that should have been their first goal there. Okay, so again, just pointing out some things that we can do a little bit better, guys. So let's see what we got. We're starting to run short on time, so I want to get to the goals. What happened on the actual goals? But there was one more offensive point that I wanted to bring up. Okay, I talked to the offense about that. I'm not sure if Lindsay is on this meeting, but Lindsay, when you do watch this meeting, everything that I'm saying to Karoun obviously applies to you as well. Is likely going on your side as well, but she is on this side of the field, so I'm really talking. So anyone that plays wing back for me this coming weekend and moving forward, everything that I'm pointing at to Karoun is obviously for you as well. Okay, Karoun's in a good spot here. Moving the ball. Girls tend to gravitate towards the ball a little bit too much instead of going away from the ball to create that space. So we're just tucked in a little bit too far. Let's move. All right, so let's get to that goal, the offsides goal, and I took down notes when exactly the goals were. So give me 1 second. When were the goals? So goal number 1 was the 29th minute. Let's jump to the 29th minute. All right. So you'll see this first goal. It was definitely offsides. However, there was something we could have done better. So goalie has the ball immediately. All right. Obviously, we were a lot of us were up the field. All right. So we had a lot of numbers forward, which is going to happen. That's fine. But we need to start dropping right away. Very early in the game, you got to figure out how far the keeper's punts go and how far the keeper's goal kicks go. Okay. And this keeper had a pretty decent punt. Her punt was able to get to half field. Okay. Right here. You can see so you can see I'm not even 100% sure where our second center back is. You have Molly right here. That's in a good spot for as a CDM. Molly as a CDM, or if Joanna, if you're still on, whoever's playing CDM, really that the ball that is in the air, the punt or the goal kick, it's really your job to track it and try to put a challenge to it. Whether you're going up for a header or not, you got to put a challenge on the body wherever that ball's going. But this is Allison, I believe, and I'm not sure who else is playing the center back right here. But as soon as that ball drops and someone gains possession, we're dropping immediately. We start to drop off. So kind of, I think at this point, I'm not sure exactly who this is. This looks like it could be Joanna. I don't think it was. Maybe it was. Whoever this is, this looks like the wing back here. They need to start dropping in. But you're going to see as soon as they win this ball right here, this is their goal. We're too far up the field. We're on their side, our offensive side of the field when the ball is only about 10 feet away. So when they play that ball, yes, she's offsides. However, we shouldn't have been in that position where she should have been offsides because we should have been in a better defensive position. All right, we were really, really high here. Too high. Okay, so yes, she's about to play this ball here. You'll see she'll be offsides. Yes, too high, Ellie, too high. She's offsides, obviously. I don't know how the ref missed that one, but they did. That's going to happen. Joe is able to make a good save, and you can see, and Allison, I'm going to just point this out to you, but whoever it was, I think it might have been Jaden on the outside over there, but when there's a breakaway, you're just running as hard as you can possibly run, getting back. And you start to, and you see Allison running pretty hard, and then Allison, you kind of give up on the play. Like right about here, you're like, all right, it's probably going to be a goal. So you're going slow. You see the save, and then you pick up your speed again. If you're running full speed back, you might have been the one getting that rebound there. So not to pick on you at all, but this is for everybody. Never give up on a play, right? Joe's a good keeper. Olivia's a good keeper. They're going to save a lot of opportunities, but it's not fair to them that they save a breakaway and then the rebound is scored on. Right, so that if we were running straight back, maybe we don't get that rebound, but we get to the position where that follow-up shot would have been cleared. Right, I'm just show you one more time. Just in live motion, shot, and now we're following up. Maybe if we're running straight back, maybe that's get cleared. Maybe not, but we never know. So we need to keep pushing hard to get back to support our keeper. Nothing Joe could have done there other than make that a really good first save. So just work hard to get back. Let's jump to our next goal. Goal number 2. That was the one that was a 49. That was the one that was a penalty shot. Not a lot we could have done there. Actually, no, I lie. We were a little bit lazy on this play. So let's take a look at that real quick. We got 10 minutes left. Let me go through this very quickly. So you can see here, this is where they scored their second goal. Getting down the sideline, ball goes out over here somewhere. Okay, once the ball goes out, let's take a look at our positioning right now. So even as the ball is going out, we need to be dropping down this sideline. We need whoever's playing CDM at this point needs to be filling in. Right now, our other center back, you know what? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're where we are kind of defensively. We're a little bit out of it, but we have 1, 2, we have 25 here. They're in decent positions, but we really need to be, let's see, if we have this going on, and this wasn't had zero effect. This had zero effect on the play, but you can tell this person right there, I'm not sure who that is, and this person right there needs to be in a better defensive shape. Again, even with Sarah, who's the last defender here, and just better shape over here. But what's going to happen now is the ball goes out, and we're a little bit lazy as the ball goes out. They pick up the ball right away, and they throw it in right away, and they catch us snapping a little bit. So they pick it up right away, they throw it in, and as Sarah's caught in a bad position, I mean, it's hard to tell from that camera, but I didn't see really a penalty shot, but that's what was called. All right, but just that's the lesson there is get back to your defensive spot and rest when you're on defense. Rest when you're in your defensive shape. Okay? We're going to skip watching the penalty shot. We don't need to see our goal. Ellie, shh. All right, goal number 3 came at 1 hour and 2 minutes. So we're going to quickly watch goal number 3. One hour and 2 minutes. Let's see what happened on this goal here. Okay. Let's see. Check our shape again. Might be Sarah, maybe not. Needs to get even with Juliana here, right? If we're going to be here, Juliana's in a good spot. Sarah needs to be here, right? Always checking that shape. But Sarah did just win that ball. Immediately when you win that ball, if that is Sarah, if it's not, sorry, Sarah. But whoever it is just needs to drop and get even again. Let's see how this goal played out that they scored. So Sarah was forced to step there because the CDM was a little bit out of position. If the CDM was there, Sarah likely would have dropped instead. Okay, right now, we're a little bit out of our shape, but it's not too bad right now. Bad touch there. Molly's in a good spot. He was able to support. Where did that goal go? Okay, Jaden was able to get the ball out wide. Obviously, Jaden, you see yourself there making a defensive error. If you're not seeing any feet, maybe put it up towards space. Tracking back. Oh, that's where it is. Okay, that's the goal. So really this was just a matter of, all right, we made a mistake. We turned the ball over. We're getting down. As we're tracking, we have players wide open all over the field. All right, it just happened to go to the one player that was one of the 3 players that were wide open. But you can see us not getting into good defensive shape. Or not marking up, right? So we need to have someone right on top of this player here, who this player is the one that scores the goal, but player 2, 3, all wide open, okay? So just marking closely and goal side when they're going down the sideline is going to be super important. So let's see how this plays out. Do it in slow motion. This person in the middle of the field, you see black in the middle of the field that's about to score, just wide open, right? Sarah did what she needed to do, really, to go support over there. So Sarah was in a decent position, but whoever, either CDM or the wing back on that side, or the other center back, actually, whoever was playing the other center back at the time, needed to just man mark this a little bit better. So this is on just marking. All right, she was able to get a nice little touch in there just because we weren't marking very well in the middle. Okay, so in transition, we just mark a little bit better. Then that last goal, they scored. I forget exactly what and how and why. Okay, they made a nice. All right. Let's see. Okay, let's see that again. So if this camera was turned left, you can see our defensive shape is out of whack again, okay? Jaden's in a decent spot because she's the wing back. She's supposed to be in front of the center backs. But look at our center backs. All right, let's pause there for a quick second. We have player all the way back here. That looks like could be Juliana. Maybe not. Looks like could be Sarah. Maybe not. But this is our shape right now. No good. No good. So what they were able to do, they were able to combine in the midfield. Maybe our CDM might have been a little bit out of position, maybe not. But if our defense had shape, it's easier for my CDM to find shape. But from where we came from, there's no reason. Up a little bit more. That ball all the way up here at their defender, there's no reason we're not getting into shape right now. Right, immediately getting into our shape. Because as the ball gets forward, a little clear, it gets their striker, they combination, and now let me get these things out of here. And now they're attacking our poor shape. Okay, they were able to put a move on right there, attack, and strike. Okay, so again, that's just a matter of our shape. Now, I am asking, I don't even know, I don't think Sarah or Juliana are on this meeting right now, so I'll talk to them a little bit more kind of throughout the week, but I'm putting a lot on my center backs if I'm keeping them out there the whole game. Typically what I do is keep my center backs out there the whole game. This is towards the end of the game, right? Maybe they're getting tired. If my center backs are getting tired towards the end of games, that's understandable. Something we need to improve upon, but I'm not going to be able to keep them out there the whole game if we can't get into our shape. So I'm going to be looking for some of you girls to step up and play center back. A lot of my strikers aren't on here, but I mean, towards the end of games when we're winning, the objective, we're at the age now where our objective is to win games, right? So if we're up 1-0 or we're up 2-1 or we're up a goal or a couple goals, and my center backs are getting tired, it'd be silly for me as a coach to keep them in the game, give them a break. So I'm going to look to some of my stronger strikers, maybe Peyton with some speed, maybe Brielle, maybe Joe, if you're not in the goal, whoever it is, some of my smarter players, even Ashley, if you're confident, you got some speed and you're able to understand the positioning, or if you just want to volunteer to do it, I'm going to need players to step up and play center back. The position it's really all about your positioning, and it's about communication. So if you're willing and you want to talk to me about it and let me know that, hey, you're willing to play some center back as well, I'm going to find some of my stronger players, the ones that have some good stamina towards the end of games. I'm going to be looking for some players to step up and play center back if Sarah and Juliana can't do it the whole game. I have less than a minute left. So again, this was all focused on really the defense when we had the ball, when we didn't have the ball. So I didn't really talk about really the midfielders too much, or I didn't talk about the strikers. I worked with them already before. But girls, we have a week to prepare, and we have a tournament this coming weekend. So please try to attend practice this week. I apologize that I have been out the last week with this back injury, but I'm feeling good. So looking forward to getting on the field this week, working with you girls, and going out there to win a championship this coming weekend. All right. I will see you girls this week. Thank you for joining me. I'll talk to you all soon.